I am Maci Felicitas, and I am the founder of Eagle Rock Kids. You are tuned into Rolling Out.
Hello, and welcome to Rolling Out's Business Exchange. My name is Portia Monique, and today I'll be your host. We have joining us today Maci Peterson, who is the founder of I Look Like an Investor community for Black women, and also she's the founder of Eagle Rock Kids, a financial literacy media platform for preschoolers. How amazing is that?
Thank
Welcome
you.
to the show, Maci.
Thank you, Portia, for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely. I want to know preschoolers, how did the concept come about? What was the inspiration? And then how did you actually make it come to fruition?
Great question. So, a couple of ways. The first is I have a 4-year-old son, and a couple of years ago, probably like a year and a half ago, we started teaching him the fundamentals of reading. So, phonics, we enrolled him in Kumon. And as we were going through the exercises, I thought to myself, if we're teaching them the foundations of language and reading at 3 and 4 years old, why aren't we teaching them the foundation and the fundamentals of personal finance? Especially since their minds are so malleable. It's the perfect time to teach them healthy money behaviors as well as relationships. And beyond that, what very few people know is that most of our money behaviors are learned and set in stone by the time we're 7.
Hmm.
So teaching that at the preschool age is incredibly important.
Yeah.
In addition to that, I was a vice president at Alliance Bernstein at the time, a which has a private wealth management business. And I was building tools to help families facilitate multi-generational conversations about wealth. And
Hmm.
that included, the youngest members of our families and those
Hmm.
families. And so with my experience at home with my son and my work focused on helping families talk about wealth, I thought we need a product and a system that teaches these children how to think about money even from a young age.
Yeah. Before we even get off of it, how do we find it? How do we engage? How do we get our kids in it?
Yeah,
How do
absolutely.
we interact? Yeah.
Yeah, so Eagle Rock Kids, we're story driven, right? So we teach these principles through stories and then rituals to help reinforce the
Yeah.
lessons.
Hmm.
So you can find them at eaglerockkids.com. You can sign up for a digital or physical subscription, and we're happy to share it with you, as soon as you sign up.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, you also launched Look Like an Investor, right? Is it
I
I
look
Look
like an
Like an
investor.
Investor? Yeah, I
Yeah,
Look
so
Like an
ILIA
Investor.
for short.
So, what was the biggest barrier that you faced or that Black women face when it comes to investing, and what inspired you to launch it?
Yeah, so my main inspiration behind I Look Like an Investor was twofold. One was selfishly as a Black female founder. At the time, I was the CEO and co-founder of my first tech company called On Second Thought, where we invented the ability to take back text messages before they get to the other person, and we have 3 patents on that.
Wow.
And I, as being one of the first handful of Black women to have raised over $1 million in outside capital, I found that it was extremely hard. And part of the reason why
Hmm.
it was hard was because pattern matching exists. And it's something that, quite frankly, we can't help. We want to support people who look like us, who feel like us, who have the same experiences as us, and who come from the same backgrounds. But at the end of the day, I wasn't going to have the same pattern as, Chad from, middle America, who,
Right. Yeah.
was a venture capitalist at one of the major firms. And so I figured, okay, if we can't change that, then we need to have more investors whose pattern is more like mine. So if we're going to pattern match, let's have more Black female investors. So that was part of the inspiration, was to make it easier for Black women to raise money in general.
Hmm.
The other reason was because my husband and I were beginning to think about angel investing, and so were many of our friends. And while I'd had the experience as an operator, I hadn't necessarily had the experience of an investor. And so I started reaching out to Black female investors who I knew. And I thought to myself, I have a great network
Hmm.
and I can easily have these conversations. But there's so many women who can't. There's so many women who are accredited investors or are interested in dabbling in this, but they don't know Monique Woodard. They don't know Erica Minahan Doonan. Like they don't know Sydney Thomas. And
Hmm.
so I launched I Look Like an Investor to provide other women with the same access that I had and to provide other women with the opportunity to learn their playbooks so that they could then become investors as well.
Bravo. Bravo to you for even having the foresight to do something like that. And you are right. When you have the access, you should build, right? You should
Right.
build those resources that help other people. Now,
Build
speak,
and share.
build
I
and share,
Yeah,
right? Because we don't want gatekeepers around
right.
that just don't have the ability to reach down and lift up, right? So
That's right.
now you are a builder of platforms, right? What
That's
makes a
right.
great founder beyond the idea?
Yeah. Well, I think there are a couple of things. One, it's not even just an idea, it's going out there to solve a problem, right? And solving
Mhm.
a problem that, for me, I think what's important is can change the trajectory of lives of others.
Yes.
So, for even my first business, which was a digital magazine that I started while I was in college, it was all about helping Black women become the best version of themselves
Hmm.
and giving them the tools to be global leaders in our society. Even with on second thought, it was about fixing text messages, which a wrong text can change the trajectory of your life.
Let's be very clear. It can. So
It
thank
can.
you for on second thought.
You're welcome. And then for Eagle Rock Kids, it's about teaching these principles early,
Yeah.
right? So that our kids, of all backgrounds, have a healthy and wealthy mindset that can change the trajectory of their lives. So
Hmm.
that's the first thing is, find a problem that you want to solve. And then the next thing is lots of people have the idea, but they don't act on it. They don't do anything with it. They're like, I thought about that and I never, you know,
Move
did
to
it.
the next step. Let's go to the
Exactly. And so, I mean, sometimes it's as simple as that, right?
yeah.
Like
Hmm.
just acting on the idea. And then I think the third thing is to be almost obsessed with your customer. So my first step whenever I approach any business or project is to talk to the customer, talk to the market, find out what their needs are, and then I build to their needs.
Yeah. Simple. It's simple. I mean, it
Like
seems
really simple
simple,
stuff.
right? It
Yeah.
seems like it's really simple. Now, roadmap to billions. Let's talk about that. So that is
Yes.
what are you most excited about when it comes to roadmap to billions? And what are you going to specifically be? What's your message to the audience there?
Sure. So I love events like Roadmap to Billions for a couple of reasons. One is just the convening of Black women, of brilliant Black women. I spent part of my college career at Spelman, and I just love being amongst my sisters,
Yeah.
right? That feeling of reunion, that
Mhm.
feeling of just, taking in their brilliance and
Yes.
learning from their brilliance and just walking away feeling like my soul has been filled and inspired. And
Yes.
in times like these, those spaces and environments are more important than ever. So that's one thing that I'm really looking forward to. The other thing, and it's kind of tangential to that, is hearing from Black women who are just crushing it,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
these systems were not created for us to succeed.
Mhm.
And for us to have the opportunity to engage in peer learning and hearing from others about their playbooks or, whether it's to inspire each other or commiserate with each other. It's just always a great and healthy and fulfilling environment. And so aside from the content, I'm excited about the people.
I love it. I love it. I'm sure they are going to be excited about hearing from you as well. Please tell us, how do we follow your journey? How do we keep up to date? How do we find out more information about all of the platforms that you have going on?
Yeah, well, thank you for asking. You can follow me on Instagram. My handle is at Maci Philitas. That's M as in Mary, A as in Apple, C as in cat, I as in igloo, P as in Peter, H as in hat, I as in igloo, L as in lucky, I as in igloo, T as in Thomas, A as in alpha, S as in Samuel. So that's
I
That's
love it.
that's social media or at Eagle Rock Kids as well. I'm also on LinkedIn. You can find me there and subscribe to Eagle Rock Kids as well as our newsletter to stay up to date about all of our new products and stories and journeys and rituals. We also have the I Look Like an Investor LinkedIn group, which you can find just by searching for I Look Like an Investor. And connect with me on social, connect with me that way. And I look forward to expanding the communities.
We love it. Macy, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate you spending time with Rolling Out's Business Exchange. Take care, and we will see you soon.
Thank you, Portia and Monique. It was such a pleasure.